Welcome back to the Eternal Ruins. This entry concerns we who wander this strange place. We are known as Wanderers, but the Great Spirits call us Children of Stone, or the Awakened Ones. Who are we, and why do we wander? Why are we here, and where do we come from? We are born from the many sleeping statues that line the Eternal Ruins. They can be found all over, silently watching as the ages pass. My first memory is darkness, being unable to move. Cold stone hugged tight to my skin. I struggled to breathe, but there was no air. A sudden warmth spread from my hands and down my arms, and the stone loudly fractured. I gasped as the stone fell away from my face and light blinded me. When I finally opened my eyes, I found myself standing holding a bowl and the shattered remains. An orb of light in the bowl diminished, and I was left standing among the rows of statues, alone. Why does this happen? Why do some statues awaken when most do not? Were we created inside the statues, or were we put to sleep inside them? These are the many mysteries surrounding our awakening, and only the most ancient of spirits have the answers. A spirit once told me that any attempt to awaken a sleeping statue ourselves would be futile because it would be too soon. Of course, I once thought to try anyway, but in the end the idea of accidentally killing an unawakened one stopped me. We awaken from the statues in a helpless state. Our time asleep leaves us physically weak and unable to think or speak properly. Naked and alone, we stumble around the ruins until our senses slowly return to us. I can only imagine that some of us become an easy target for a demon before we're able to regain our wits. We all start with nothing. No memories, no names, and no possessions. The ruins are a harsh place in the beginning, but it is plentiful for the crafty wanderer. Water can be found everywhere from the many fountains, and roots, moss, mushrooms, and fruits can be foraged for food. Many resources can be scavenged from the ruins themselves if you look around, including clothing and tools. In time, we learn to look after ourselves and even thrive here. Though we all begin our lives here the same way, the paths we choose to walk are up to us. There are those of us who wander, journeying through the endless halls. Our motives vary from seeking a greater meaning to seeking a way out. The many dangers of the ruins make the idea of settling down seem foolish. However, there do exist places of sanctuary. Some great spirits, if they still hold enough power, have shrines that are safe from demons. Some of us are chosen to become wardens to these great spirits, settled in the safety of their shrines. Such a fate has tempted me before, but in the end, I always chose my own path. Eventually, many of us adopt a name. It could be made up by us or given to us by another. They seem to be useful when encountering others. In truth, I've only met a handful of other wanderers myself. An encounter with another wanderer can be very odd after traveling in solitude for a long time. They almost don't seem real. I'm always cautious and suspicious, as are they of me. Out of the few I have met, some I have traveled with, some I have merely shared tales with over a fire, and some have tried to take my life. And so, this is how we wanderers come to be, and some of the ways we choose to live. In time, I hope to document the specific wanderers I have encountered, so you can learn more about the many paths we choose to walk. That's it for this video on the Wanderers. I hope that helped paint a general picture of life in the Eternal Ruins. It can be hard to imagine a life without other people, but I always find it fascinating to think about. I want to give a huge thank you to everyone who commented and decided to follow after my first video. The response has been amazing after working on this in private for the last few years. My hope with YouTube is to find others who like this very specific flavor of fantasy, and I couldn't be happier so far. Thank you. I've had a lot of questions about what the goal for the Eternal Ruins is. Will it be a game, a comic, a role-playing setting? I love the idea of all these things, but these kind of projects are a huge undertaking, and I'm just making this on my own right now. My goal is to keep making art and growing an audience until I can work with a team with the right resources and knowledge. I also have a Patreon where I put up weekly lore pages like these, as well as share some of the process behind my art. Please consider joining if you'd like to support the Eternal Ruins going forwards. Until next time.